Built after hours, the easy way to succeed in business without quitting your job. You are wasting your life. Not all of it. Your job is fine. Your salary is useful. Your career is legitimate. But the hours between 6 p.m. and midnight, the Saturday mornings, the dead zones of scrolling and streaming and relaxation, those hours are being sacrificed to the false god of tiredness. You come home exhausted. You tell yourself you deserve rest. You deserve to scroll. You deserve to zone out. And you do deserve rest. But rest is not what you are taking. Rest is sleep, recovery, presence with people you love. What you are doing instead is numbing. You are using entertainment as a painkiller for the quiet desperation of knowing you are not building anything. Your potential is screaming inside you. You feel it at 11 p.m. when you are watching someone else's life on a screen. You feel it on Sunday afternoons when the week ahead feels like a cage. You feel it when you see someone younger with more than you, or when you realize another year has passed and nothing fundamental has changed. The lie you tell yourself is that you are too tired. The lie you tell yourself is that building a business requires leaving your job, requires capital you don't have, requires luck you weren't born with. The lie you tell yourself is that this will happen later, when things settle down, when the kids are older, when the job is less demanding, when you finally have time. You are lying to yourself. Building $1 million company while working a full-time job is not easy. It is relentless. It requires you to become a person you are not yet. It requires you to abandon the comfort of exhaustion, the excuse of busyness, the safety of, "I tried, but it was too hard." It will demand more from you than anything you have ever attempted. It will strip away your excuses one by one until you are forced to face the truth. You are capable of far more than you are currently doing. But here is what is also true. It is possible. Thousands of people have done it. They did not have more time than you. They did not have more intelligence than you. They did not have better luck or richer parents or clearer paths. They had one thing. They became someone different. They became disciplined. They became ruthless with their hours. They became willing to be uncomfortable. They became driven by clarity instead of motivation. Most people fail before they begin because they are waiting to feel ready. They are waiting for permission. They are waiting for circumstances to change. They are waiting for motivation to arrive like a visitor at the door. While they wait, their life is happening without them. Their potential is calcifying. Their regret is building. You do not need motivation. You need discipline. You do not need luck. You need strategy. You do not need more time. You need more ruthlessness with the time you have. Busy is not a real condition. Busy is what you call yourself when you are choosing comfort over growth. Busy is the excuse you use when you are too scared to bet on yourself. Busy is the armor you wear to protect yourself from the shame of not trying. Every person who has built something significant was just as busy as you. They just made different choices about what that busyness meant. Your job is not the enemy. Wasted evenings are the enemy. Your job provides stability. Your job gives you the runway you need. Your job is the launch pad, not the prison. But you are treating it like a prison, resenting the hours when you could be treating it like what it is, a shield that protects you while you build. The pain of building while working a full-time job is real. You will be tired. You will miss social events. You will work when you don't feel like it. You will sacrifice comfort. You will feel the weight of carrying two lives at once. But this pain is finite. It is negotiable. It has an end date. You can see the finish line. The pain of never trying is infinite. It is the slow, creeping ache of regret that compounds every single day for the rest of your life. It is waking up at 40, 50, 60 and realizing that you spent your best years protecting yourself from discomfort. It is wondering who you could have become if you had just been willing to be tired for a season. That pain never ends. That pain is permanent. You get to choose which pain you want to carry. This book is not here to entertain you. It is not here to make you feel better about your choices. It is not here to convince you that everything will be fine, that you are already enough, that you don't need to change. This book is here to build you. It is here to dismantle your excuses. It is here to show you that millions are built by ordinary people doing extraordinary discipline. It is here to prove that you have more time than you think, more capability than you believe, and more potential than you have allowed yourself to imagine. It is here to establish that your job and your business are not enemies. They can be partners. Your salary can fund your growth. Your stability can be your competitive advantage. Your exhaustion can become fuel. It is here to demand something of you. Real commitment, real discipline, real willingness to be uncomfortable. Not everyone should read past this point. If you are looking for motivation, go watch a video. If you are looking for permission to stay comfortable, you will not find it here. If you are looking for a shortcut or a hack or a formula that will magically turn your spare time into $1 million empire without effort, you are in the wrong place. But if you are ready to become someone different, if you are ready to accept that your future will not be built by accident but by intention, if you are ready to look at your wasted hours and see them not as comfort but as failure, if you are ready to work when you don't feel like it, to execute when you are tired, to build while the world around you sleeps, then this book is for you. Your potential is not waiting for the perfect moment. It is dying a little bit every day that you delay. It is calcifying. It is being rewritten into a story about why you could not do it instead of a story about why you did. This is your choice. This moment. This decision. Build or regret. There is no middle ground. There is no eventual. There is only now. Chapter 1. The reality of building while working. You are not working one job. You are working two. And the second job, the one you are building after your primary job ends, is harder than the first. This is not discouragement. This is clarity. And clarity is the foundation of everything that follows. The truth about balancing a full-time job and building a business is that it is not actually a balance. Balance implies equal weight on both sides. It implies peace. Building while working is not peaceful. It is controlled tension. It is choosing to carry a load that most people will never understand, and not complaining about it because complaining is wasted breath that could go toward building. When you work a full-time job and build after work, you are operating with constraints that pure entrepreneurs do not have. Pure entrepreneurs can rest when they want. They can take the day off. They can think deeply about problems because they have 12 hours to sit with them. You don't have that. You have 3 hours on weeknights if you are disciplined. You have 8 hours on Saturday if you guard them fiercely. You have your Sunday afternoon if you protect it from family obligations and mental fatigue. These constraints are brutal. They are also an advantage. Constraint forces clarity. When you have infinite time, you can wander. You can optimize the wrong things. You can be inefficient because you have the luxury of time to waste. But when you have 3 hours on a Tuesday night, you cannot afford to think about low-priority tasks. You cannot afford to optimize something that doesn't matter. Your scarcity of time forces you to see clearly which activities move the needle and which ones are ego projects. The second advantage of working while building is psychological armor. When your business fails, and most businesses go through seasons of struggling, you still have income. You still have stability. You are not swinging between desperation and hope. You are not one customer away from panic. This stability is not a weakness. It is rocket fuel for the business because you can make decisions based on strategy instead of survival. The psychological challenge is different. You will feel like you are living two lives. On one side of 5 p.m., you are an employee. You show up. You do the work. You move through the day in someone else's system, following someone else's rules, producing someone else's results. Then at 6 p.m., you switch. You become an owner. You become the one responsible. You become the one who decides. You become the one who cannot blame anyone or anything except yourself. This switch is jarring. Your brain does not love it. Your body does not love it. Your body wants to shut down at 5 p.m. Your brain wants to rest. Your emotions want to escape. Your psychology wants to tell you that you have already worked hard enough today, that you deserve relaxation, that pushing harder in the evening is selfish or unsustainable. All of this is true sounding. All of it is also a lie protecting comfort. The identity shift required to build while working is significant. You are not just becoming an entrepreneur. You are becoming someone who is comfortable holding two identities at once. You are becoming someone who can be an employee in the morning and a CEO in the evening and not feel torn apart by the contradiction. You are becoming someone who sees the job not as a failure or a prison, but as a strategic choice that serves your larger vision. Most people cannot hold this identity. They resent the job because they are supposed to resent it. They have internalized the message that if you have a real business, you quit your job and go all in. Anything else is half-hearted. Anything else is compromise. Anything else is failure. This is one of the most destructive lies in modern entrepreneurship. Your job is not evidence that you are not serious. Your job is evidence that you are intelligent. You are using what is available to you now to build what you want for the future. You are not gambling everything on a bet that probably will not pay off. You are building from a position of strength, not desperation. Accepting pressure instead of escaping it is the third psychological requirement. Building while working is pressurized. You will feel stretched. You will feel tired. You will feel like you are never doing enough in either domain. Your job never feels entirely complete because you leave at 5 p.m. to work on the business. Your business never feels entirely complete because you have to go back to the job in the morning. You will live in a permanent state of, something could be better. This pressure is not meant to be escaped. It is meant to be accepted and even weaponized. Pressure, when directed correctly, creates diamonds. Pressure is the weight that forces you to get rid of everything unnecessary. Pressure is what makes you choose between doing things that matter and doing things that feel good. Pressure is what makes you disciplined instead of comfortable. The people who fail in this season are the ones who try to escape the pressure. They reduce their hours at work, which reduces their income and increases their desperation. Or they scale back the business to create more space, which reduces their progress and increases their doubt. Or they try to find some middle ground of comfort, which is impossible and leads to half-effort in both domains. The people who succeed are the ones who say, I will accept this pressure. I will carry this weight. I am strong enough for this. I will not complain about it, but I will not pretend it is easy. I will use it. Why many fail before they begin. Most people who say they want to build a business while working full-time do not actually want to build a business. They want to build a business. They want the identity of someone building something. They want the story. They want the eventual freedom and income. But they do not want to do the actual work. They do not want to sit down on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. when they are tired and execute. They do not want to keep executing when results are invisible for 6 months. They do not want to carry the weight. So they fail before they begin. They create a business plan but never launch. They launch but never actually sell. They sell once and then wait for the success to come to them. They build a product but do not talk to customers. They build everything except the one thing that matters, execution when they don't feel like it. Others fail because they have the wrong business. They choose an idea that excited them rather than an idea that solves a real problem. They choose something that sounds impressive at dinner parties rather than something that can actually scale. They choose complexity when simplicity would serve them better. We will talk about this more deeply in later chapters, but the point here is simple. Not every business can reach 7 figures, and building the wrong one will exhaust you and end in failure. Still others fail because they underestimate what it actually costs to build while working. They think they can wake up at 5 a.m. and work for 2 hours before work. They think they can work 3 hours in the evening after being tired. They think they can work all weekend and still recover. They create a schedule on paper that looks reasonable, then 3 weeks in, they realize they cannot actually sustain it. Instead of adjusting the schedule, they abandon the entire effort. The clearest-eyed builders go indifferently. They understand that this will be hard. They understand that they will be tired. They understand that the sacrifice is real. But they also understand that the alternative, spending the next 20 years wishing you had tried, is worse. So they build anyway. They start small. They start achievable. They build it in phases, adding intensity as they prove they can sustain it. The reality of building while working is this: it is not easy. It is not a side hustle. It is not something you do with your leftover energy. It is a second full commitment that requires you to be more disciplined, more clear, and more committed than most people ever become. It requires you to become someone different. It requires you to look your exhaustion in the face and work anyway. It requires you to accept that your social life will shrink, that your free time will disappear, that people around you will not understand and will not support what you are doing. But it is also the most intelligent path to building something substantial. You have the safety net of income. You have the clarity that constraint brings. You have the pressure that forces excellence. You have the opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than you thought. The closing truth is this: greatness requires honesty, clarity, and commitment. You must be honest about what building actually costs. You must be clear about whether you are willing to pay that cost. And you must be committed to the decision once you have made it. There is no middle ground. There is no halfway. There is only the decision to build or the decision to stay comfortable. Which one are you making? Chapter 2. Treat your after-work hours like a battlefield. Your 9 to 5 is not your enemy. Your wasted 5 to 10 p.m. is. Stop resenting your job. This resistance is poisoning everything. It is creating a false narrative that says your real life begins after work, that your job is the obstacle, that if only you did not have this job, everything would be different. This story is a lie you tell yourself to feel less responsible for the fact that you are not building. Your job is the most valuable asset you have right now. Your job is the income that funds your business. It is the capital you are converting into equity in your own future. Every dollar your job provides is a dollar you can invest in marketing, in tools, in learning, in the infrastructure of your business. While pure entrepreneurs are stressed about survival, wondering how they will pay rent, you are in a position to make strategic decisions. Your job is not a burden. It is armor. Your job is the credibility and stability that allows you to take intelligent risks. When you pitch a customer, you have a day job, which means you are not desperate. When you price your service, you can price it rationally instead of from panic. When you encounter a setback, you do not spiral into crisis mode because you have income. Your job is not a limitation. It is a strategic advantage. Your job is also the proof that you can execute. You show up. You deliver. You probably do it reasonably well. This same capability is what you will apply to building your business. You are not learning how to execute for the first time. You are learning how to execute in a different arena. Your job is practice. It is the gymnasium where you are developing the discipline you will need. So stop resenting it. The resentment is a virus that spreads into every hour. It justifies tiredness. It justifies wasted time. It justifies shortcuts. It justifies the small voice that says, "Well, I already worked all day, so I deserve to rest now." You are using resentment as a permission slip to not build. Start respecting it instead. Your job is serving you. It is funding you. It is supporting you. And the contract you have made, trading your time for income, is fair. You are not being victimized. You are not being held back. You are being funded. Respect that transaction. The real enemy is wasted evenings. You come home from work. Your brain is tired. Your body is tired. Your emotions are depleted. This is real. But here is what is also real. You have hours left in the day. 5, 6, 7 hours depending on when you finish work and when you go to bed. These are not small amounts of time. These hours, if spent with intention, are the difference between a life of regret and a life of building. But they are not being spent with intention. They are being evaporated. You scroll for 30 minutes. It turns into 90. You watch one episode of a show. It becomes 3. You tell yourself you will work on the business at 9 p.m. And then at 9 p.m. you are too tired and you go to bed instead. You tell yourself you will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and the same thing happens. A week passes. A month passes. 6 months pass. And the business has barely moved. This is not because you are lazy. It is because you have not declared war on wasted time. You have not made the evening non-negotiable. You have not created systems that protect your intention from your impulses. Your impulses in the evening are powerful. After a day of structure, your nervous system wants chaos. After a day of obligation, your psyche wants freedom. After a day of being told what to do, your soul wants to choose. This is real. It is also not an excuse. The people who build while working do not fight these impulses through willpower. They are smart enough to know that willpower is a limited resource. Instead, they create structures that redirect their impulses. They create friction between themselves and the activities that waste time. They create ease between themselves and the activities that matter. Creating non-negotiable building time is the first structure. This means you decide, in advance, the hours that are not negotiable. Not, "I will try to work on the business if I feel like it." Not, "I will build when I have energy." Not, "I will work on this sometime soon." You choose specific hours and you protect them like they are the most important meetings of your week. Because they are. If you work 9 to 5, and you come home and want to recover for 30 minutes, you are back at 5:30. You could work 5 to 7 p.m. on the business every single night. That is 10 hours a week. Over a year, that is 500 hours. That is more than enough to build something real. But here is what most people do instead. They come home at 5 p.m. and they tell themselves they will work on the business later. Later means 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. By 8 p.m., they are exhausted and tell themselves tomorrow. This cycle repeats until a week has passed with 0 hours worked on the business. Instead, work immediately, before you eat dinner, before you rest, before you give yourself permission to relax. Work first. The work is harder when you are more tired, but the work gets done. The habit gets established. The progress compounds. And by the time you rest, you have done something that matters. Evening discipline rituals are the second structure. A ritual is something you do the same way every time. It does not require a decision. It is automatic. It is what you do. The ritual signals to your brain and body that it is time to shift modes. Your ritual might be: come home, change clothes, drink water, sit at a specific desk or location, and start working on the business immediately. No phone, no email, no news, just 30 minutes of complete focus on the most important task for the business. The ritual is the anchor that prevents decision-making from derailing you. The ritual might also include what you do before you start. You might meditate for 3 minutes. You might read your business goals. You might write down what you are going to accomplish in the next hour. These micro-rituals train your brain to transition from employee mode to builder mode. What makes a ritual work is repetition. You do the same thing the same way until it becomes automatic. After 3 weeks of doing it, your brain no longer requires motivation. It just happens. The ritual becomes the path of least resistance. And suddenly, you are working on your business without having to fight yourself about it. Becoming someone who executes regardless of mood is the third shift. This is where many people get stuck. They have heard that motivation is a lie and discipline is real, but they have not actually integrated what that means. They still expect to feel good before they work. They still expect to feel energized before they execute. They still believe that the feeling must come first. It does not. The execution comes first. The feeling follows. This is not poetry. This is neurobiology. When you execute an action, your brain releases neurochemicals that make you feel capable, focused, and energized. You do not get these feelings by thinking about what you want to do. You get them by doing it. The feeling of momentum comes after momentum, not before. So you stop waiting to feel like working. You look at your evening schedule and you say, at 5:30 p.m., I am going to sit down and work on the business for 90 minutes. You do not ask yourself whether you feel like it. You do not evaluate your emotional state. You do not make a case for why tonight might be different. You sit down and you work. And the first 30 minutes feel hard and sluggish and you think about quitting. Then at minute 31, something shifts. The work becomes interesting. The focus deepens. You suddenly understand something that had been unclear. You have momentum. This is the experience of becoming someone different. This is what it feels like to stop being controlled by your emotions and start being controlled by your intentions. After 1 week of this, you are someone who can execute when you don't feel like it. After 4 weeks, this becomes normal. After 12 weeks, this is just who you are. You are the kind of person who works on their business regardless of mood. This identity shift is the most valuable change you will make. Protecting weekends and evenings means understanding that they are not recovery time. They are building time. Your real recovery happens on Sunday evening after you have done your work. Your real rest happens Saturday night after you have executed. Your real peace happens when you are building towards something real. This is a fundamental reorientation of what your free time means. It is not free, it is strategic. It belongs to the future you are building. And protecting it means saying no to things that feel good right now so you can say yes to the life you actually want. The closing truth. You don't build empires with leftover effort. You don't build them with whatever energy is left after you have rested and recovered and treated yourself well. You build them with deliberate, structured, protected time. You build them by making your after-work hours a battlefield where you fight for what matters. You build them by becoming someone who is willing to be uncomfortable in pursuit of something real. This is the price of building while working. This is also the entire point. Chapter 3. Choose a business that can actually reach 7 figures. Most businesses will never reach 7 figures. Most will fail, but not because the builder lacked effort. They failed because they chose the wrong business. This is the hardest truth about entrepreneurship. Your idea matters less than you think. Your charisma matters less. Your content matters less. What matters is whether the business model can actually scale to the revenue you want. You can be the most disciplined person alive, working 3 hours every evening, completely committed, and if you have chosen a business that has a ceiling of $50,000 a year, you will never reach $1 million. You will be climbing a mountain that has a peak at 50,000 feet. Discipline cannot change the elevation of the mountain. This is why choosing correctly matters so much more than working hard. Scalable versus limited businesses is the first distinction. Some businesses are designed to scale. They are built on a system that can serve more customers without proportionally increasing effort. They have leverage built into the model. An example is software. You write code once. Thousands of people use it. The revenue scales without the effort scaling linearly. Another example is content with affiliate income. You create content once. It generates income for years with minimal maintenance. Another example is a service that is productized and systematized so that you can eventually hire people to deliver it. Limited businesses are the opposite. They are built on trading your time for money. You have a job until you leave the job and your income stops. You are a consultant and you charge by the hour, so doubling your income requires doubling your hours. You are a freelancer and every project requires substantial energy. You are a coach and every client requires your direct attention. None of these are bad businesses. Many are good businesses, but they have a ceiling. At some point, you run out of hours. At some point, you cannot make any more time. The business stops growing because you stop having time to give. Building a limited business while working full-time is possible. You can build a six-figure freelance business. You can build a $50,000 consulting business. But you will probably not build $1 million business this way because you have already given away your working hours to your job. The time you have for your business is finite and small. If you want to reach 7 figures, you need a business with leverage. You need a business where effort and income decouple at some point. You need a business where your work serves thousands, not dozens. This narrows your options significantly. And that is good. Clarity is helpful. Thinking in revenue models is the second principle. Most people think about business in terms of what they want to create. They think about their expertise, their passion, their unique perspective. Then they try to monetize it. This is backwards. You should think about revenue models first. Then you figure out what problem you can solve within that revenue model. What are the revenue models that can scale to $1 million? Here are some examples. Software as a service, SaaS, scales because you sell subscriptions to thousands of customers. The marginal cost of adding a new customer is nearly zero. Digital products scale because you create once and sell infinitely. An online course, a template, a guide, software that you sell up front, these have no marginal cost. Affiliate income scales because you refer products that people want and earn commission on every sale. You create content once and earn commission indefinitely. Advertising scales because you build an audience and monetize that audience. You build once and monetize across different platforms or formats. Consulting at scale works if you can eventually hire other consultants to do the work while you keep the revenue. It works if you build a signature methodology and license it. It works if you build it in a way that eventually does not require you. Information products scale if they are priced high enough. You can sell to thousands of people if you charge $500 for an online course. You can sell to thousands if you charge thousands for high-ticket coaching. The path to $1 million gets shorter as the price point increases. E-commerce scales if you have a product people want and you can acquire customers at a cost less than the profit margin. You can have thousands of customers buying from you. Physical products scale if they are automated and outsourced. You design it, you don't make it. Notice what is not on this list. Personal services traded one-to-one, hourly work, jobs with a fixed ceiling. If you want to reach $1 million while working a full-time job, you need to choose one of these models. You need to build inside the constraint of the revenue model that scales. This sounds limiting. It is actually liberating, because once you understand the revenue models that work, your choice becomes much clearer. Solve real problems, not ego fantasies is the third element. Most failed businesses were built to solve ego problems, not real problems. A real problem is something that people have right now and are actively trying to solve. They are losing money because of it. They are losing time because of it. They are frustrated or stressed or failing because of it. They would pay to make it go away. An ego fantasy is something you think is cool. It is something you would like to exist. It is something that would make you feel like a smart person or creative person if you built it. But nobody is actually trying to solve it. Nobody is suffering from the lack of it. Nobody would pay for it. The difference is obvious, but most builders miss it because they are attached to their idea. You think about it this way: what problems are people currently solving in their business or life? What are they spending money on right now? What frustrates them? What takes up their time? What keeps them up at night? Build a solution to one of those problems. Do not build what you think is clever. Build what people are desperate for. Do not build what interests you. Build what solves a real problem. The entrepreneurs who build the fastest are the ones who listen to what people need and build that. Not what they had planned to build. Not what they thought was cooler. What people actually need. Simplicity beats complexity is the fourth principle. The most complex business ideas are the least likely to succeed. This is because complexity requires more execution, more variables, more moving parts, more things that can go wrong, more skills that the founder needs to have. Simple businesses are easier to execute. They are easier to explain. They are easier to debug when something goes wrong. They are easier to scale. They are easier to delegate. If you are building while working a full-time job, you need simple. You need to be able to explain the business in one sentence. You need to be able to execute it in the time you have. You need to be able to scale it without 12 moving parts. Build leverage, not noise, is the final principle. Leverage means that your effort produces results that continue to produce results. You create a video and it gets views for a year. You write an article and it brings customers for a year. You build a product and it serves customers without your involvement. Noise means activity that feels productive but does not accumulate. You post on social media constantly but your audience never grows. You create content that gets views but never converts to customers. You hustle endlessly but never build assets. In the time you have available, you cannot afford noise. You have to build leverage. Everything you do should serve the long-term business, not just today's activity. This is why social media can be seductive but dangerous for the builder working full-time. It feels productive. You are building your audience. But if that audience is not connected to your revenue model, it is noise. It is time spent on activity that does not compound. Choose a business where leverage exists. Choose a business where your early work creates ongoing value. Choose a business where the effort compounded over time builds something real. The closing truth: million-dollar companies are designed, not wished into existence. You do not stumble into them by accident. You do not build them through motivation and heart and hard work alone. You build them by choosing, at the beginning, a business model that can actually reach 7 figures, then you build it with discipline and focus and strategic patience. The choice of business is the first and most important decision. Choose wisely. Chapter 4: Ruthless Time Discipline. You do not lack time. You lack the discipline to use it. This is a hard truth, but it is the truth that will set you free. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Elon Musk has 24 hours. Oprah has 24 hours. The person building a $1 million business while working full-time has 24 hours. The hours are not scarce. Clarity about what to do with them is. The lie of no time is protecting something. It is protecting your right to be comfortable. It is protecting your right to rest without guilt. It is protecting your right to choose pleasure over purpose. The lie of no time is actually the truth of I have not made this a priority. And that is fine. You do not have to make it a priority. You can choose comfort. You can choose to spend your evenings resting and your weekends relaxing. That is a legitimate choice. But do not call it no time. Call it what it is. A choice to prioritize something other than building. Time leaks in modern life are everywhere. You think you do not have time. But you have time. It is being leaked. It is bleeding out through small holes that you have not noticed. Your phone is a time leak. You pick it up for 30 seconds to check one notification. 30 minutes later, you are still holding it. This happens not because you are weak but because your phone is designed to hack your attention. The device is weaponized against focus. But you can still choose not to look at it. Social media is a time leak. You go to one social media platform to check one thing. You stay for an hour. This is not accidental. The platform is designed to keep you there. But you can still choose not to open it. Meetings that should be emails are a time leak. They are built into your job often, but you can push back. You can say, I do not need to be in this meeting. Send me the summary. Reclaiming time is about being willing to protect it. Conversations that should not happen are a time leak. You spend 20 minutes listening to someone's problem that has nothing to do with your goals. This is kindness. It is also a leak. Kindness that costs you your future is not kindness. It is weakness disguised as compassion. Tasks that are not important but feel urgent are a time leak. Your email inbox is full of things that could be done, but do not need to be done right now. You have a list of nice to-do things that you would like to accomplish. These feel productive, but they are leaking your time away from what actually matters. Entertainment is a time leak. One episode of a show is 30 minutes. 3 episodes is 90 minutes. A movie is 2 hours. An evening of scrolling is 3 hours. These are not small things. These are not remnants of time. These are substantial blocks of time that are going toward entertainment instead of building. You do have time. You just have to be willing to see where it is going and be ruthless about stopping the leaks. Focus scheduling principles form the foundation of time discipline. You cannot protect all of your time. You cannot say yes to building and no to everything else. Life requires some flexibility. Some evenings you need to rest. Some weekends you need to spend with family. Some time you need to spend on your health or your relationships. This is not negotiable. What is negotiable is being intentional about the structure. The first principle is time blocking. You decide, in advance, which hours belong to the business. You do not negotiate this every day. You decide once and you protect it like it is locked. Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. belongs to the business. Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. belongs to the business. Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. belongs to the business. These hours are non-negotiable. Everything else can move. These hours cannot. The second principle is single tasking. You work on one thing. You do not answer emails while you work on the business. You do not check your phone. You do not listen to podcasts. You do not have 10 tabs open. You close everything and you focus on one task. And you do it until the task is done or the time is up. This is harder than it sounds because your brain likes switching. Switching feels like progress, but switching destroys focus. You can do more deep work in 90 minutes of actual focus than you can in 4 hours of distracted work. The third principle is elimination. You say no to things. Not because they are bad, but because they are not the most important thing. Your friend wants to hang out on Friday evening. You say no because Friday evening is for the business. A colleague asks you to attend a networking event on Thursday. You say no. You are asked to serve on a committee. You say no. Every yes to something else is a no to building. The fourth principle is batching. You do similar tasks together. You write all your content for the week in one sitting. You respond to all your emails in one 30-minute block. You do all your admin tasks on one afternoon. This reduces the switching cost and increases your focus. Execution over planning is the fifth principle. This deserves its own paragraph because most builders fall into the planning trap. They create spreadsheets. They design the perfect system. They think about how they will build. But they do not actually build. Planning is comfortable. Planning feels like progress. But planning is not progress. Progress is execution. You get better by doing, not by thinking about doing. You learn by shipping, not by perfecting the plan. You discover what works by trying, not by analyzing. This does not mean you should be chaotic. You should have a plan. But the plan should be simple and the execution should be fast. You decide what you are going to build in the next week, and you build it. You do not wait until the plan is perfect. You do not optimize before you have results. You execute first, then you learn, then you iterate. If you spend 3 months planning the perfect business and never execute, you have 0 revenue and 12 weeks less time. If you spend 1 week planning and 2 months executing, you have made progress, you have learned, you have revenue or feedback or proof of concept. Protecting weekends and evenings means guarding them. You have decided which hours belong to the business. Now you have to actually protect them. This means saying no to social pressure. It means saying no to things you want to do. It means becoming someone who is not available during those hours. People will not respect this boundary unless you enforce it. If you say Friday evening is for the business, but you flake when a friend invites you to dinner, you have not actually protected the time. You have just made yourself unreliable. Protecting the time means making it sacred. It means telling people in advance that you are not available. It means turning off your phone. It means going to a location where you can focus. It means treating these hours like they are more important than anything else because they are. The closing truth. Your future company is hidden inside wasted minutes. Every minute you scroll is a minute not spent on the business. Every evening you use for entertainment is an evening not spent building. Every hour you cannot account for is an hour you cannot get back. You do not lack time. You lack precision with the time you have. Become ruthless about protecting the hours that matter. Become someone who executes in the time available. Become someone who trades small comforts now for the opportunity to build something real. This is what time discipline actually is. Chapter 5: Energy Management. Build even when you're tired. You will not feel like building. You will feel exhausted. You will feel defeated. You will feel like it would be easier to just rest. You will feel like tomorrow would be better. All of this will be true emotionally. And you will build anyway. This is the chapter about how to function when you are running on empty, how to extract productive work from a tired body, and how to build an empire on the foundation of fatigue. The emotional crash after work is real and normal. You have been executing all day. You have been making decisions. You have been showing up. You have been solving problems that are not yours to solve. You have been in meetings. You have been responding to messages. By 5 p.m., your brain chemistry has shifted. Your nervous system is depleted. Your dopamine is down. Your willpower is exhausted. This is not weakness. This is not evidence that you are not cut out for this. This is basic neurology. Your brain has a limited amount of executive energy and you have used it up at work. And now you are supposed to come home and do more. The emotional resistance to this is real. Your body is literally pulling you toward rest. Your emotions are telling you that you have already done enough. Your mind is offering you every reason why you should not start working on the business right now, why tomorrow would be better, why you deserve to rest today. All of this is accurate emotionally. It is just not true practically. You have more energy than you think. And you need to learn to access it despite the emotional signals telling you otherwise. Turning fatigue into momentum is the first skill to develop. This is counterintuitive, but it is true. Taking action when you are tired actually energizes you. The tiredness is real, but it is also not the limiting factor you think it is. When you sit down and start working, even though you feel tired, something happens. Your brain begins to engage. The problem you are working on becomes interesting. You discover something you had not expected. You make progress. And as you make progress, your energy increases. The fatigue does not disappear, but your sense of momentum and purpose overcomes it. This is different from the lie of motivation. Motivation would suggest that you feel energized and then you work. But momentum works in the opposite direction. You start working and then you feel energized. The action comes first. The energy follows. This is why you sit down and work for just 30 minutes. You tell yourself that if you feel terrible after 30 minutes, you can stop. You have permission to quit. But you commit to 30 minutes. And here is what actually happens. After 30 minutes, you do not want to quit. You have momentum. You are interested. You want to keep going. You keep working for another 30 minutes, then another. The tiredness was never the real problem. It was just the initial barrier. Building execution rituals is the second skill. A ritual is something you do the same way every time. It does not require motivation. It does not require an evaluation of whether you feel like it. It is what you do. Your ritual removes the decision-making component, which means it removes the point where your emotions can talk you out of it. Your ritual might be, the moment I arrive home, I change into different clothes, drink water, sit at my desk, and open the document I am working on. No email, no phone, no anything else, just this ritual, every single day, the same way. After 2 weeks, this ritual becomes a habit. Your brain does not require you to talk yourself into it. You come home and your brain automatically knows what comes next. You change, you drink water, you sit, you work. It is automatic. The ritual carries you past the emotional resistance. The ritual is especially powerful because it creates a transition. You are moving from the role of employee to the role of builder. The ritual marks this shift. It signals to your nervous system that you are in a different mode now. You are not an employee anymore. You are a builder. Protecting health for performance is the third consideration. You cannot build well on no sleep. You cannot build well on a completely sedentary day. You cannot build well on poor nutrition. These are not nice to haves. They are requirements. Sleep is not a luxury when you are building while working full-time. Sleep is infrastructure. You need 7 to 8 hours. You might think you can get by on less, and you can for a short period, but it is not sustainable. After a few weeks of 5-hour nights, your judgment collapses, your health suffers, and your business suffers. Sleep is non-negotiable. Movement is not optional. You work all day. You come home and work on your business. Your body needs to move. A 30-minute walk every day is not extra. It is maintenance. It is the thing that keeps your body from breaking down. It is the thing that keeps your mind from stagnating. Nutrition matters more than you want it to. Your brain runs on fuel. If you fuel it with processed food and sugar, your energy and focus will be unstable. If you eat actual food, vegetables, protein, whole grains, your energy will be more stable and sustainable. These are not distractions from building. They are foundations for building. The entrepreneur who sacrifices sleep for hustle usually crashes in a few months. The entrepreneur who protects sleep, protects movement, and protects nutrition is the one who can actually sustain the work long term. Learning to work without emotion is the fourth and final skill. This is the most important skill. This is the skill that separates the builders from the dreamers. Most people wait for the emotion. They wait until they feel excited about the work, inspired by the vision, energized by the possibility. They wait for the feeling that makes the work feel easy. And if the feeling does not come, they don't work. Actual builders work whether the emotion is there or not. You work when you are tired and discouraged. You work when the business is not growing as fast as you hoped. You work when the market is not responding the way you wanted. You work when you are frustrated with your job. You work when you have doubts about whether this will ever succeed. You work anyway, not because you feel like it, but because you have decided that working is what you do. This is not crushing yourself. This is not ignoring your emotions or pretending they are not real. Your emotions are real. You are just not letting them run your life. You are not letting your emotional state be the deciding factor in whether you execute. Imagine you are a construction worker. You show up to the job site. It is cold. You do not feel like working. You feel tired. You wish you were somewhere warm. But you are a construction worker. This is what you do. You show up. You work. You build. It does not matter if you feel like it. You work anyway. You are doing the same thing. You are a builder. This is what you do. You show up. You work. You build. Not because you feel like it, but because this is who you are. After you do this for a while, something shifts. You stop expecting to feel like it. You stop being surprised by the fatigue. You stop asking yourself whether you want to work. You just work. And working becomes easier because you have stopped making it contingent on a feeling. The closing truth. Relentless people build greatness, not rested people. The person waiting until they feel energized will wait forever. The person building despite their fatigue and emotional resistance will build something real. You will be tired. You will work anyway. You will build rituals that carry you past the emotion. You will protect your health so you can sustain the work. And you will build an empire on the foundation of discipline, not motivation. Chapter 6. Revenue First. Build a real business, not a fantasy. A real business makes money. Everything else is a hobby with delusions of grandeur. This is the line that separates actual builders from pretend builders. Actual builders obsess over revenue. Pretend builders obsess over everything else. The pretend builders are building perfect products. They are optimizing the user experience. They are waiting until it is ready before they launch. They are getting testimonials from friends and family. They are building their brand. They are creating content about the journey. They are doing everything except the one thing that matters, asking people to pay. The actual builders are different. They are focused on one thing, getting paid. Not someday, not when the product is perfect, not when they have a big audience. Now. Avoid vanity business habits by recognizing them first. A vanity business habit is something that feels like progress but does not generate revenue. It looks impressive from the outside but is empty from the inside. Example: you spend 3 months building a beautiful website. You feel proud of it. Your friends say it looks professional. But no one is paying you. The website was a vanity project. Example: you have 10,000 followers on social media but 0 customers. Your followers do not translate to revenue. Your audience is a vanity project. Example: you spend months perfecting your product before you have sold a single one. You make it beautiful. You make it flawless. But you have no revenue and no evidence that anyone wants it. The perfection was a vanity project. Example: you create a beautiful logo, a clever tagline, and a consistent brand aesthetic. But you are not selling anything. The brand is a vanity project. None of these things are bad in isolation. A good website matters. An audience matters. A great product matters. A brand matters. But they only matter after you have proven that people will pay. Before that, they are vanity projects that are preventing you from doing the one thing that matters. The builders who succeed build revenue first. They sell before the product is perfect. They acquire customers before they have a polished brand. They prove the business model before they optimize every detail. Then, with revenue coming in, They can invest in making the experience better. Sell early and sell repeatedly. Selling early means asking for money before you are ready. It means having a customer before you have finished building. It means getting rejected multiple times and doing it anyway. It means being vulnerable enough to let someone say no. Most builders avoid this. Selling feels uncomfortable. Selling feels like you are imposing. Selling feels like you are being too aggressive. So you delay selling. You keep building. You wait until the product is perfect and the timing is right and you feel confident. Meanwhile, your competitors who sold earlier are learning from customers. They are getting paid. They are gathering real feedback instead of imagined feedback. They are building a real business instead of a fantasy. Selling early also means you stop doing something for free that you should charge for. You are offering help, advice, or a service to people who should be paying. You are treating your expertise like it is worthless. You are training people to expect it for free. Instead, sell. Ask the person to pay. If they say no, you have not lost anything. You have gained information. This person is not a paying customer. Move to someone else. Selling repeatedly means you make it your job to sell. You do not sell once and then hide. You sell every day. You talk to prospects. You pitch. You make offers. You ask for the sale. This is uncomfortable if you have not done it before. But it is the skill that separates successful businesses from failed ones. Most failed businesses failed because the founder did not want to sell. They wanted to build. They wanted to perfect. They wanted to create. But they did not want to sell. Without sales, the business dies. So you have to become someone who sells, whether you like it or not. Learn through revenue. You do not know what your customer actually wants until you get paid by them. Your theory about what they want is just a theory. Your assumption about what will work is just an assumption. Reality is what happens when actual paying customers engage with your actual business. Some of the most successful businesses discovered their real business model through revenue. They started with one idea. They started selling. The market rejected it. They listened and adjusted. They sold again. The market wanted something slightly different. They iterated. After a few iterations, they found something that the market wanted. Then they scaled it. This only happens if you are selling. If you are still in the planning phase, if you are still building the perfect version, you are not learning anything real. You are just spinning. Sell something, anything, even if it is not exactly what you want to sell. Get paying customers. Listen to them. Adjust based on what they tell you. Sell again. This cycle of selling and learning is the path to a real business. Confidence through earning. There is a psychological component to this. When you earn money, something shifts inside you. You are no longer theoretically building a business. You are actually running a business. You are no longer hoping someone will pay. Someone already has paid. Your confidence shifts from hope to evidence. This confidence is valuable. It changes how you talk about your business. It changes how people perceive you. It changes how you perceive yourself. When you have a customer and revenue, you are a business owner. When you don't, you are a person with an idea. The difference is not just vocabulary. It is fundamental. A business owner makes decisions from a position of strength. They have proof that the market wants what they are selling. They are solving a real problem. A person with an idea makes decisions from hope and theory and fear that it might not work. You get to the business owner position by earning. The closing truth. Revenue is proof. You can talk about your business. You can build your brand. You can create content. You can network. But none of that matters until someone has paid you. Revenue is proof that your business is real. Go earn it. Do it today. Make the first sale. Learn from it. Make the second sale. Build from there. Every dollar you earn is a vote for your business. Every customer you serve is proof that you are solving a real problem. Build on this proof. Chapter 7. Systems beat heroic effort. The person who is willing to work the hardest usually fails. The person who builds the best systems usually succeeds. This is the truth that most hustlers do not understand. They think success is about grinding harder, working more hours, pushing further. They think that if they are just willing to sacrifice enough, if they are just willing to work hard enough, they will succeed. And then they burn out. They get tired. The business stops moving. They are no longer motivated. They quit. The builders who succeed are the ones who build systems. They build things that work without their personal heroic effort. They create operations that scale. They design processes that other people can execute. They build a business that does not require them to do everything. Why grinding harder eventually fails? There is a human limit to how much you can work. You can push past it for a season. You can work 80 hours a week for 3 months. But it is not sustainable. Your body will break. Your mind will break. Your motivation will disappear. You will burn out and the business will stop moving because the business is entirely dependent on your effort. This is why so many solo entrepreneurs hit a ceiling. They build a business where they are the limiting factor. They do all the work. The quality depends on them. The growth depends on them. The revenue depends on them. And they cannot scale beyond their own capacity. When they realize this, many of them think the solution is to work harder. But there is only so hard you can work. At some point, you have nothing left to give. At that point, the business stalls. The solution is not more effort. The solution is systems. Turning chaos into structure. A system is a repeatable process that produces a consistent result. Instead of doing something differently each time, you do it the same way each time. Instead of requiring your full attention each time, a system requires your attention once to create it, then it runs with minimal attention. An example: instead of responding to customer questions however you feel like responding, you create a system. You identify the 5 most common questions. You write excellent answers to each one. You create a document or a response template. Now, when a customer asks a common question, you or someone else follows the system and uses the template. The response is consistent. The customer is satisfied. And you are not reinventing the wheel each time. Another example: instead of creating content however you feel like creating it, you create a system. You decide you will create 1 piece of content per week. You decide what day you will create it. You decide what format it will be. You decide how long you will spend on it. You create the content on the same day at the same time each week. After a while, this becomes routine. You do not have to think about it. The system carries you. Another example: instead of handling customer onboarding differently each time, you create a system. You write down all the steps that need to happen when a new customer signs up. You create templates for the emails. You automate the onboarding process. Now, when a new customer comes in, the system handles most of it. You just need to oversee it. Systems reduce decision fatigue. When you have a system, you do not have to decide how to do something each time. You follow the system. This frees up mental energy for the things that actually require your attention. Building simple, repeatable operations. The best systems are simple. You can understand them. You can execute them. You can teach them to someone else. Complex systems fail because they have too many moving parts. You forget a step. Someone misunderstands a step. The system becomes unreliable. Eventually, you abandon the system and go back to doing things however, which means you are back to chaos. Simple systems work because they are easy to follow. Simple systems scale because you can teach them to someone else. Simple systems survive because they are easy to maintain. When you build a system, start simple. What are the core steps? What is the minimum you need to do? Start there. Make it work. Then add complexity if it is needed. An automation mindset is the second piece. An automation mindset means looking at every task and asking, can this be done by someone else? Can this be done by a tool? Can this be eliminated entirely? In your job, you probably cannot automate things because you are one person in a larger system. But in your business, you have the opportunity to automate. You should be relentless about it. If you are doing the same task more than once, you should be thinking about how to automate it or delegate it. If you are spending time on something that does not require your particular expertise, you should be thinking about whether a tool can do it or someone else can do it. This does not mean building elaborate automation. It might mean using email templates. It might mean using a scheduling tool instead of manually coordinating times with people. It might mean using a payment processor instead of manually invoicing. It might mean recording a video tutorial instead of explaining the same thing to the 100th person. An automation mindset also means thinking about leverage. What can you build once that serves many people? What can you create today that will work for you tomorrow and next month and next year? Delegating intelligently is the final piece of systems. As your business grows, the bottleneck becomes you. You are the one doing the work. The business can only grow as much as you can grow your own effort. At some point, delegation becomes mandatory. Delegating intelligently means choosing what to delegate carefully. You delegate the tasks that are not highest and best use of your time. You delegate the tasks that someone else can do 80% as well as you. You keep the tasks that only you can do. For someone working full-time and building a business, delegation is typically the answer to scaling. You cannot be the one doing all the work. Your job takes 40 to 50 hours a week. You have maybe 15 hours available for the business. If the business requires more than 15 hours, you need to delegate some of it. This is where many builders get stuck. They think they cannot afford to hire someone. But not hiring someone means the business cannot grow. Hiring someone, even part-time, even for a few hours a week, unlocks growth, because it gives you more hours to work on growth activities instead of execution activities. The closing truth: million-dollar companies run on systems, not desperation. They are built by people who figured out how to do less while accomplishing more. They are led by people who designed repeatable processes and eliminated heroic effort. If you are grinding harder every day, you are on the wrong path. If you are building systems that scale, you are on the right path. Design first. Execute the design. Delegate when possible. Automate when possible. Build the business to run without you having to be the one doing everything. That is how you scale. Chapter 8. Build under pressure without breaking. You will feel pressure. You will feel stretched. You will feel like you are carrying more than you can handle. You will feel the weight of two lives at once. This is not a sign that you should quit. This is the signature of someone building something real. Balancing job, business, and life is framed as a problem to solve. Everyone talks about work-life balance like it is something you should achieve. Like there is a perfect amount of work and a perfect amount of rest, and if you get that right, everything is fine. This is fantasy. When you are building a business while working full-time, there is no balance. There is only seasons. Some seasons you are building hard and your personal life takes a back seat. Some seasons you are recovering and you pull back from the business. You do not maintain perfect balance throughout. You cannot. What you can do is maintain perspective. You know that this intense season has an endpoint. You know that you are not going to work this hard forever. You know that there will be times when you pull back. This perspective prevents you from burning out completely. Emotional stress and mental fatigue are the real costs. The financial cost of building while working is minimal. You might invest in tools or education, but the real cost is emotional. You will feel stressed. You will feel the weight of carrying two responsibilities. You will feel like you are never doing enough in either domain. You will have moments where you doubt whether it is worth it. This emotional cost is real and it is not to be dismissed. You need to acknowledge it. You need to name it. You need to decide that you are willing to carry it. But you also need to know that it is temporary. This season of high stress is not permanent. At some point, the business will either succeed and you will be in a different situation, or it will become clear that this business is not the right path and you will pivot to something else. Either way, you will not be in this exact season forever. Developing resilience is the work of this chapter. Resilience is not the ability to feel no pain. Resilience is the ability to continue when you feel pain. Resilience is taking the emotional hit and deciding to show up anyway. Resilience is carrying doubt and working anyway. Resilience is exhausted and building anyway. You build resilience through repetition. You commit to showing up despite your emotions. You do this 100 times. You do this 1,000 times. After a while, it is no longer surprising that you feel bad. It is just part of the process. You have resilience. Resilience also comes from getting small wins. When you execute despite pressure, when you build despite fatigue, when you get a customer or move the business forward despite feeling like you cannot, you build evidence that you are more capable than you thought. This evidence is your resilience. Staying grounded during storms means having anchors outside the business. When everything else is turbulent, you need something that is solid. For many people, this is family. It is your people. It is the relationships that matter. Time with them is not a distraction from the business. Time with them is necessary fuel for the business. You need people who love you even when the business is struggling. You need people who remind you that you are more than your business. You need people who can pull you back to reality when you are spiraling. This is why a complete sacrifice of your personal life is dangerous. You need your ground. You need your anchor. You need something that is not about the business. Protecting your focus and sanity is the final piece. You cannot think clearly when you are completely overwhelmed. You cannot make good decisions when you are in crisis mode. So you have to protect your mental capacity. You have to protect some space where you can think. You have to protect some time where you are not in survival mode. This is why sleep is non-negotiable. This is why exercise is non-negotiable. This is why time with people you love is non-negotiable. These are not distractions from building. They are the things that keep your mind in a place where building is possible. The closing truth: pressure sharpens disciplined builders. It burns out people who are not ready. But if you are ready, if you have the discipline to show up despite the pressure, if you have the resilience to carry the weight, then the pressure becomes your greatest teacher. It teaches you who you really are. It teaches you what you are capable of. It builds the person you need to become to actually build something significant. Chapter 9. Aggressive action plus strategic patience. This is the paradox of building. You must move fast and think long-term at the same time. You must be aggressive about action and patient about results. Most builders fail because they get one of these wrong. They are either so focused on quick results that they burn out and burn the business down trying to force growth. Or they are so focused on the long term that they never take action and never gather evidence. You need both. The illusion of overnight success must be destroyed first. Every success that looks like it happened overnight took years. The company that seems to have appeared out of nowhere had been building for 5 years before anyone noticed. The person who seems to have made it suddenly was grinding for a decade before they got the breakthrough. You see the overnight part. You do not see the years of work before it. You do not see the failed attempts. You do not see the customers who said no. You do not see the exhaustion. You see the moment when it clicked and everything changed. This is dangerous because it creates false expectations. You think if you just work hard for a few months, you will have your breakthrough. When it does not come, You think you are failing. You think you are doing something wrong. You think you should quit and try a different idea. But you are not failing. You are in the normal phase of building something real. Most things take 2 to 3 years to get traction. Most businesses are invisible for the first year or two. Most products fail before they succeed. This is normal. This is expected. Slow seasons of growth and compounding are where most of your work happens. The slow seasons are when you are building and nobody is watching. You are creating content and nobody is seeing it yet. You are serving customers and they are not telling anyone yet. You are building systems and they are not yet efficient. You are learning and the learning does not look like progress to the outside world. This is where most of the actual building happens. The slow season is where you develop expertise. The slow season is where you build your foundation. The slow season is where you prove to yourself that you can show up even when the results are not visible. If you quit during the slow season, you never get to the fast season. If you get impatient and jump to the next idea, you abandon the compounding effect just as it is about to kick in. Staying committed while results are small is the hardest part of this journey. You are working hard. You are showing up. You are executing. And nothing is happening. The business is not growing. The customers are not coming. The revenue is minimal. How long do you stay committed? The answer is, you stay committed long enough to gather evidence. You set a time frame. You say, I will work on this for 12 months. If after 12 months I have not gotten real traction, I will pivot or quit. But until then, I am fully committed. I am not hedging my bets. I am not half committed. I am all in. Then you work. You execute. You build. You gather evidence. And in 12 months, you will know whether this is the right direction or not. You will have data. You will have customers or proof that customers exist. You will have revenue or proof that your model does not work. Most people cannot do this. Most people want evidence in 3 months. But 3 months is not enough time. Most businesses are invisible in 3 months. Compounding efforts is what happens when you stay committed long enough. In month 1, you do some work. You get some results. In month 2, you do more work. You get some results. But you also get benefits from the work in month 1. You are learning. Your skills are improving. Your network is expanding. In month 3, you do more work. You get results. And you get benefits from the work in month 1 and 2. Your content is being seen more because you have more of it. Your network is helping you because they know you longer. Your skills are sharp because you have been using them. This compounding continues. By month 6, your work is 10 times more efficient than it was in month 1 because the previous work is still working for you. By month 12, you are getting exponential returns because everything is compounding. But you only get this benefit if you stay long enough. If you abandon the work in month 2 because you do not see enough results, you never get the compounding effect. You are back to zero because you started over with a new idea. Avoiding panic decisions is the last piece. When you are in the slow season and nothing is happening, panic is close. You start to wonder if you should pivot. You start to wonder if this idea was wrong. You start to wonder if you should try something different. Panic decisions are made from fear and incomplete information. They are decisions made when you are tired and seeing small results as confirmation that you should quit. Panic decisions are usually the wrong decisions. Make a rule. You do not make any major decisions when you are in the down season. You do not pivot. You do not quit. You do not radically change course. You keep executing the plan. You gather data. You stay patient. And then, when you have real evidence that something is not working, you make a calm decision from a place of clarity, not panic. Most people who quit were 1 month away from breakthrough. Most people who pivoted would have succeeded if they had stayed. Do not be that person. The closing truth. Growth feels invisible until suddenly it isn't. You are building in the dark for a long time. Then one day, you look back and it has all accumulated into something real. That day is coming, but you will only see it if you are aggressive about action while also patient about results. Move fast, execute hard, and give yourself time to see what you build compound. Chapter 10. Turn your side business into a serious company. At some point, if you have done this right, the side business stops being a side business. It becomes significant. It starts to generate real revenue. It starts to take real time. It starts to demand real structure. At this point, you face a choice. When not to quit is the first question. Many people think the moment the business becomes viable is the moment to quit your job. This is backwards. The moment the business becomes viable is when you need to be very careful about your decision. Do not quit your job when the business is small. Do not quit when you still need the income. Do not quit when you are not sure the business can sustain itself. Do not quit when you still have a lot of learning to do. Do not quit from emotion or excitement. Do not quit because you are tired of the job. Quitting from emotion is how people end up desperate. They leave the job because they have a few $1,000s in revenue and they think they are ready to go full-time. Then month 3 hits and the business slows down. They have no income. They panic. They make desperate decisions. They burn out. Do not quit until you are certain. Do not quit until you have no other choice because the business requires all your time. Metrics of readiness tell you when you actually are ready to quit. The first metric is revenue. How much revenue is the business generating? How stable is it? If your business is generating $10,000 a month and you are spending $12,000 a month, you are not ready to quit. If your business is generating $5,000 a month and it is growing fast and you have a clear plan to grow it further, you might be close to ready. The second metric is growth rate. Is the business growing month over month? Is it accelerating or decelerating? If it is accelerating, you might be ready to quit soon. If it is decelerating, you need to stay in the job and figure out what is wrong. The third metric is customer satisfaction. Are your customers happy? Are they paying you again? Do they refer you? If you have high customer satisfaction, you have a real business. If you have low customer satisfaction, you do not yet have a business. You have a job that someone hired you for once. The fourth metric is sustainability. Can you deliver your product or service without your personal heroic effort? Can you sustain the quality without killing yourself? If you still need to do everything personally, you are not ready to scale. If you have systems and people, you might be ready. The fifth metric is margin. How much profit is the business making? You need to have enough margin that even if something goes wrong, you can still cover your living expenses. If you are making money but barely breaking even, you are too fragile to leave your job. Professionalizing your business means treating it like a real company. Most side businesses look like side businesses. The owner is doing everything. There is no team. There is no structure. There are no systems. There is no real accounting. There is no business plan. It works because the owner is doing everything through sheer force of will. When you want to scale, you have to professionalize. This means building a real team. Even if it is one part-time person to start, you need someone else involved. You need to be able to delegate. Creating real systems and processes. You cannot rely on heroic effort anymore. The business needs to run on structure. Setting up real accounting. You need to know how much money you are actually making. You need to know your actual expenses. You need to know your actual margin. Creating a real business plan. You need to know where you are going. You need to know what success looks like. You need to know the metrics that matter. Creating a real culture. If you are going to have people working for you, they need to understand what the business is about. They need to know why it matters. They need to be aligned with the mission. Becoming a real leader is the most important part of professionalizing. As long as you are the only one doing the work, you do not have to be a leader. But the moment you have people working with you, you have to become a leader. You have to be able to communicate clearly. You have to be able to inspire people. You have to be able to make decisions. You have to be able to handle conflict. Leadership is a skill. Like any skill, you get better at it through practice. Start building it now, while your team is small. Treat your team members with respect. Communicate clearly about expectations. Give them feedback. Help them grow. These are the foundations of leadership. Preparing for scale is the final piece. If you have done this right, at some point you will not be able to do everything yourself. You will need to scale the team. You will need to scale the systems. You will need to scale the infrastructure. Start preparing for this now. Even though you are still small, build the foundations that will allow you to scale. Build processes that can be taught to others. Build systems that can handle more volume. Build a structure that can grow. The closing truth: freedom is earned through disciplined preparation. You do not earn freedom by quitting your job impulsively. You earn freedom by building a real business with real revenue, real systems, and real structure. Then, when you are ready, when the metrics clearly show you are ready, you transition. And the transition is smooth because you have prepared for it. You have a business, not a job. You have structure, not chaos. You have a future, not a hope. Chapter 11. Build something that outlives you. The final shift in perspective is this: you are not building a business. You are building something that lasts. Most entrepreneurs are focused on the money. They want to hit 7 figures. They want to hit 8 figures. They want to get rich. That is fine. Money is useful, but money is not the end point. The end point is a company that continues to exist and thrive after you step back. A company that has its own identity, its own culture, its own momentum. A company that is bigger than you as a person. Brand longevity starts with this. You are building a brand that you would be proud to have represent you for the rest of your life. If you would be embarrassed by your brand, if you would not want your name permanently associated with what you are building, then you are building the wrong thing. Or you are building the right thing the wrong way. Every decision you make about your brand should be driven by this. In 20 years, will I still be proud of this? In 50 years, will this still represent what I believe? If the answer is no, you need to change something. A lasting brand is built on authenticity. You are not trying to be someone else. You are not copying what is popular. You are building something that reflects your values and your perspective. This takes longer. It is slower, but it lasts. It has integrity. It has the power to endure beyond trends. Trust and reputation are built through consistent delivery. Your brand is only as good as your follow-through. You can say anything you want about your business. The market only cares about what you actually deliver. Trust is built by doing what you promise. It is built by delivering quality even when no one is watching. It is built by being honest about what you can and cannot do. It is built by making mistakes and fixing them transparently. Reputation is the compound of thousands of small decisions about integrity. When you treat customers well even when it costs you. When you deliver more than you promised. When you admit mistakes. When you stand for something beyond just making money. Reputation is built through 1,000 small acts of integrity. This is why short-term thinking destroys lasting businesses. If you are only focused on making money today, you will compromise integrity for profit. You will make a decision that damages your reputation. And once reputation is damaged, it is hard to rebuild. If you are thinking long-term, you make different decisions. You turn down money because taking it would damage your reputation. You invest in quality even when shortcuts would be easier. You treat customers well because it is right, not because they will give you reviews. Building culture and values is what scales the brand beyond you. As long as you are the business, you are the culture. Your values are the values. Your integrity is the integrity. But the moment you want the business to outlive you, you have to encode your values into systems and culture. Culture is what your team believes. It is how they make decisions when you are not there. It is what matters to them. It is what guides them. You build culture by being clear about what you believe. You build it by rewarding behavior that aligns with your values and not rewarding behavior that does not. You build it by making decisions that reflect your values, especially when it costs you. You build it by talking about what matters. Values are the things you stand for. They are your North Star. They guide every decision. If one of your values is, we deliver quality, then you make decisions to deliver quality even when it is harder. If one of your values is, we are transparent, then you communicate honestly even when it is uncomfortable. A company with clear values and culture can survive the departure of a leader because the values continue. The team continues. The mission continues. Purpose beyond money is what attracts great people and keeps them. The best people do not work just for money. They work for something that matters. They work for a company that stands for something. They work for a mission they believe in. If your business is just about making money, you will attract people who are just in it for money. They will leave the moment someone offers them more. But if your business is about something bigger, if it is serving customers in a way that matters, if it is solving a real problem, if it is making the world better in some way, then you will attract people who care about that mission. A lasting company needs people who care about the mission, not just the paycheck. Creating something you are proud of is the actual definition of success. Money is just a metric. It is a way to measure that you have created something people want. But it is not the goal. The goal is to create something you are genuinely proud of. Something that when you look back at it 50 years from now, you think, I did something good. I built something that mattered. I created something that made a difference. This is the real success. This is what keeps you going when the money is not coming. This is what makes the sacrifice worth it. This is what you tell your kids about. This is what you leave behind. The closing truth: don't just build income. Build greatness. Don't just build something that makes money. Build something that matters. Build something that lasts. Build something that you would be proud of even if nobody ever knew you built it. That is a company worth building. That is a legacy worth leaving. Final commitment: you have read this book. You now know what it takes. You know that building $1 million company while working full-time is possible. You know the cost. You know the path. You know what is required of you. Now you have to choose. This is the most important moment. Not the moment you start building. Not the moment you get your first customer. Not the moment you hit $1 million. This is the moment you decide. This moment, right now. This is where everything begins or where everything stays the same. Most people will read this and feel inspired for a few hours. They will think about what they could build. They will imagine what it would be like to run their own company. They will feel the pull towards something different. And then tomorrow will come and they will wake up and feel tired and they will go to work and they will come home and they will scroll through their phone and nothing will change. They will tell themselves that they tried. They will tell themselves that they were too busy. They will tell themselves that the timing was wrong. They will tell themselves that it was not meant to be. But they will not have tried. They will have thought about trying. There is a difference. You have a choice. You can be the person who thought about it. Or you can be the person who did it. The person who thought about it will always wonder what might have been. They will always have a small voice in the back of their head saying, I could have built that. I was capable. I just did not do it. That voice will compound over years. It will become a weight. It will become regret. The person who did it will either succeed or fail. If they fail, they will have learned. They will have tried. They will know what it takes. And they will try again with better information. If they succeed, they will have what they wanted. And more than that, they will know that they are the kind of person who decides and executes. You do not get to know which one you are until you choose. Here is the final truth. No one is coming to build this for you. No one is going to do this for you. No mentor is going to appear and hand you the business. No opportunity is going to land in your lap. No lucky break is going to come along. You are not waiting for something external. You are building something, and you already have everything you need. You have time, not unlimited time, not perfect time, but enough time. An hour a day is enough. 90 minutes in the evening is enough. 5 hours on a weekend is enough. You have the time. You have just been spending it on other things. You have capability. You might not know everything. You might not have done this before. But you are intelligent. You can learn. You have built things before in your job. You can build a business. You have discipline. You show up to your job. You complete your work. You meet your obligations. This same discipline can be applied to building. You can show up to your business. You can do the work. You can follow through. You have the ability to earn money. If you have a job, you can sell. You can deliver value. You can figure out what people need and provide it. You have this skill already. You just need to apply it to your own business instead of someone else's. You have everything you need. The only thing missing is the decision. And that decision cannot be made by anyone else. Not your family, not your mentor, not some expert on the internet, not this book. Only you can make this decision. Only you can decide that you are going to build. Here is what building looks like. You wake up and you commit. Not to perfection, not to never failing, not to becoming rich quickly, just to building something real, just to executing when you don't feel like it, just to being disciplined, just to moving forward. You go to work and you do the work. You provide value to your employer. You earn your paycheck. You do this with no resentment because you understand what you are doing. You are funding your future. You are in a position of strength. You come home and you transition. You change the way you dress or move. You create a ritual. You signal to yourself that you are in builder mode now. You sit down and you work on your business. You do not wait to feel like it. You do not ask yourself if you have the energy. You just work. You have decided. You execute. You make your first sale. It is small. It is not glamorous. It is just a person paying you for something. But it is proof. You are a business owner now. You keep selling. You keep executing. You keep learning. You keep improving, month after month. You do not see much growth at first. Then you see small growth. Then accelerating growth. Then you look back and you cannot believe how far you have come. You build a team. You build systems. You build a real company. You invest in the business instead of just extracting money from it. You prepare for the moment when you can leave your job. You do not leave impulsively. You leave when the math works. When you are ready, you build something you are proud of. Something that serves customers. Something that solves real problems. Something that will last. This is the path. This is how it works. This is what building looks like. And you can do this. You can be the person who reads this book and takes action. You can be the person who decides and executes. You can be the person who builds $1 million company while working full-time. You can be the person who looks back 5 years from now and says, I did it. I built something. I am no longer exhausted and empty. I am building something that matters. You can be that person. But only if you choose. Only if you decide right now that you are done waiting. You are done thinking about it. You are done protecting yourself from the possibility of failure. You are done with comfortable mediocrity. You are ready, not completely ready. No one is completely ready. But you are ready enough. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. You have the path. What you do not have is more time to wait. Your time is now. This moment. This decision. The cost of building is real. You will be tired. You will miss social events. You will sacrifice comfort. You will feel pressure. You will doubt whether it is worth it. The cost of not building is worse. It is the slow burn of regret. It is the weight of knowing you were capable and did not try. It is the voice that says, I could have done that. It is the future that could have been. You get to choose which cost you want to pay. My recommendation is this: pay the cost of building. Be tired for a season. Sacrifice comfort temporarily. Feel pressure. Face your doubts. Do the work. Build the business. And in a few years, you will be on the other side of it. You will be running a company you built. You will be making money doing something you created. You will know that you are the kind of person who decides and executes. That knowledge is worth more than comfort. That knowledge is worth more than ease. That knowledge is worth every sacrifice you make. So here is your commitment. Here is what you are going to do. This week, you will identify what business you are going to build. Not think about it, not research it, identify it. You will choose based on what solves a real problem and can reach 7 figures. Next week, you will start building. Not preparing, not planning, building. You will create the first version, the first product, the first service. You will make it available to someone. You will ask if they want to buy it. You will get rejected. You will not care. You will ask the next person. You will keep asking until someone says yes. You will deliver. You will do the work. You will serve the customer. You will use the money from that first customer to fund the next thing. You will build systems so you are not the bottleneck. You will grow. You will scale. You will build a company. And you will do this while working your full-time job because you have the discipline to do 2 things at once. This is your commitment, not to me, not to this book, to yourself. You are making a commitment to yourself that you are worth this effort. That your future is worth this sacrifice. That you are capable of building something real. This is the most important commitment you will ever make. Because the person you become in the process of building, that is the real win. The money is just evidence that you have built well. The company is just proof that you followed through. But the person you become, someone who is disciplined, who executes, who does not quit, who builds under pressure, who leads, who has integrity, that person is the real victory. No one can take that away from you. That person is who you are. Go become that person. Go build something that matters. Go create the future you deserve. Your potential is not waiting for someday. It is not waiting for the perfect moment or the right circumstances or the lucky break. It is dying a little bit every day that you delay. This moment, right now, this is where you start. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is when you delay. Right now is when you decide. Right now is when you commit. Right now is when you become someone different. You have the capability. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. You have the time. What you have not had until now is permission. Permission to be tired. Permission to sacrifice comfort. Permission to build something without knowing if it will succeed. Permission to be disciplined and relentless and focused and a little bit ruthless about what matters. I am giving you permission. You have permission. Go build what your future deserves. Go become who you are capable of being. Go earn the freedom that is waiting for you on the other side of discipline and commitment and relentless execution. No one is coming to build this for you. But you are capable. You are disciplined. You are ready. Now go build.